slow down.
Nah. Hello everyone, this is Ender and welcome to my VRcade. A topic that may not interest many of you, but it is critical to my enjoyment of VR and my search for the best hands-on stick and stick as a VR space simmer who is also left-handed, and why I ultimately chose a VKB setup. I purchased my setup without sponsorship, payment, or affiliate discount provided to me specifically, although I did use a 5% discount code provided by another content creator, a leader in the segment, Noobifier. If you do appreciate my work and would like to help me hit the magic number of 1,000 subscribers, where YouTube starts paying me, I think, like a penny a view, it would really help motivate me to keep going, knowing that all of you appreciate my efforts and to help me reach that milestone. And for those of you who already have helped me get this far, thank you so much. It's really appreciated. When most people think of gaming joysticks, they think of a hands-on throttle and stick, also known as a HOTAS for short. A popular HOTAS choice for Elite is the Logitech X52, which my fellow Elite players, Corsia and Kevin, are happy with, as long as you aren't running Windows 11 where it's got a software glitch and all of a sudden tracking can go all over the place. While a HOTAS can work well for atmospheric sims and arcadey space-like games such as Star Wars Squadrons, let me know if you want to see some content on that or a review of that. I like playing that too. The two most popular simulators, Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous, the latter being the only one that supports VR play, they have a physical limitation with a HOTAS, in my opinion. You see, in atmospheric sims, you typically control with pitch, roll, and yaw on one hand, usually the right hand for the rest of the world, and apply propulsion with a single throttle axis on the left hand, which doesn't work for me. My ideal setup is a hands-on stick and stick, or HOSAS. It gives me the greatest control, plus since I am left-hand dominant, and unlike with the HOTAS, I can actually aim with my left hand and set propulsion to my right hand, which I vastly prefer. I know many atmospheric lefties just learn to fly backwards, but I say, frack that. Only my fellow Southpaws and I are in our right minds, and I don't want to be thinking with the left side of my brain like 90% of the rest of the world. My first HOSAS was the entry-level Thrustmaster T16000M Space Sim Duo for 130 bucks, if you could find it at that price during the pandemic. For Elite and even atmospheric flight sims, you will have to use the buttons on the base, aka the gimbal, which in VR you cannot see. The only way you can identify them is by literally feeling the raised dots and counting them like reading Braille. There are really only two major players I consider worthy upgrades from the Thrustmaster T16000Ms in the HOSAS market: VKB and VIRPIL. Enter VKB and why I chose them, but I will cover why I didn't go into VIRPIL as well. Being a lefty, I went with a left-hand Premium Kosmosima Grip, abbreviated as SCG, but also called Kosmosima with a K, just to be extra confusing, paired with a Gunfighter Mark IV base. For my right hand, I chose the Omni-Throttle grip, paired with a Gladiator NXT Evo base on the right. Righties, you can figure out how to reverse that setup for yourselves, and if that's confusing, well, welcome to my world, where all the bindings are backwards for me. Speaking of which, here are some, not all, of the tentative bindings I've been using for Elite on screen. I also use these sticks for Squadrons, and we'll try them with some other atmospheric flight sims, dogfighters, mech games, and eventually others. The Kosmosima Premium Grip, I don't recommend the non-premium option with fewer buttons, has all the buttons I need with 3 5-way hats, each allowing you to bind a different feature, plus 1 5-way where, in default settings, you can push in on the 5th center input and it changes the hat from a button, or POV mode as they call it, to an analog mini stick with 2 axes. I love this for moving around the external camera. Otherwise, I would have to bind and reach for a gamepad, which again, no fun to do in VR. I didn't think I would care for what they call their rapid fire trigger given its tiny appearance, but these 2-way triggers are perfect for binding hard points, and other features you need to retract for a quick escape when you accidentally wing the cops. Although plastic, its ABS material is very durable, doesn't creak, and being lighter is more precise than heavier, albeit more premium, feeling metal. See other reviews I linked to for an explanation on why that is. The grip is a smaller, more ergonomic side stick design and offers its version of a tilted stick option called the Omni-Throttle. What this means is the stick is tilted at a 45-degree angle for 3 reasons. 1, it allows your hand to rest on the grip closer to how it would feel on a more familiar feeling traditional throttle. 2, it makes twisting the stick for up and down movement more intuitive than twisting left or right on a vertical stick. 3, it is for me and many more ergonomically comfortable than having a traditional vertical grip. This is also why some do choose to go with a double Omni-Throttle grip, aka a pod racer setup. I would like to try this in the future if I can adjust my aim. As for the bases, there are 2 options. The Gladiator is fantastic combined with the Kosmosima Grip and is considered at large the best go-to value for space sims. Good luck finding a bad review of it. To put this in terms the VR community can understand, it is the Quest 3 of space sim controllers. It's very accurate, again made of strong ABS plastic, with some buttons, wheels, and one axis wheel that I rarely use, but the 3 buttons on the base are nice for binding my menu buttons. Where it starts to shine is it has 4 different levels of resistance springs, which control your resistance, pushing outward from the center with your stick. A huge standout feature are the clutches, also known as dampeners. They allow you to dampen or nearly eliminate the rebound force from the springs or how forcefully the stick returns to center. My T16000s, with its non-adjustable springs and no clutches, I was constantly annoyed with its inconsistent force and imprecision. As for the Omni-Throttle stick, in combination with the features of the Gladiator base, you can also customize it to work as a traditional throttle or dead stick by removing the springs and adjusting the clutches accordingly. In other words, so it doesn't return to center like a throttle wouldn't, which is great for atmospheric flight or games that with that style of controls like here in Squadrons, where you only have forward propulsion. In fact, it has 2 clutches on the y-axis versus just the one on the x-axis to aid control in this regard. You can also install an x-axis lockout plate to prevent side-to-side movement, so again, it's even more like a traditional throttle. For the Gunfighter, it has all the same features of the Gladiator, minus the buttons on the base, but adding metal construction plus spring pretensioners and adjustable cams. For the sake of time, I will just say that swapping out cams allows you to create an even smoother rebound to center for the most demanding pilots. A final deciding factor to go with VKB for me was the excellent reputation for customer service. Before buying, I joined their Discord server and was amazed by the friendliness, informative, and lightning fast replies to anyone's questions. Just do everyone a favor and watch the instructional videos first. Their YouTube videos are excellent and a model of right to repair guidance that even Louis Rossmann would love. And speaking of less than brilliant moves, I did break a wire and over tighten a clutch, which was entirely due to my fault. After sending VKB photos in an email, they replaced both parts within a week, no questions asked, so they did live up to their excellent reputation in that regard. VIRPIL is certainly the more eye-catching and might be the better option if you have larger than average hands and value style over function. Both of the leading YouTubers on this topic, Falcon's Ledge and Noobifier, linked below, argue VIRPIL makes the best bases on the market with all the features of the Gunfighter. You can also buy one or more Z extensions which function like VKB's Omni-Throttle adapter. As for the grip, when I mapped out how many buttons I would actually use in Elite, I didn't see a need for the grip's additional features, even with the update to Elite now supporting up to 128 buttons per device, which is awesome. As for the cons, the biggest deal breaker for me personally is that a men's medium-sized glove generally fits me best, and many with hands on the smaller size say they cannot reach all the buttons on the Alpha Prime easily, even with its adjustable palm rest. However, if you have larger hands, that may not be the case for you, and an Alpha Prime might fit you better. Furthermore, I have only heard negative complaints about customer support from VIRPIL. Let's move on to my final thoughts and recommendations. You're welcome to disagree with my opinions, and even better, encouraged to add your experiences with these products if you have them, because much like VR headsets, every user is going to have a different personal, valid opinion. I just ask that you offer yours respectfully. A pair of Alpha Prime grips and Warbird D bases with 1Z extension costs $1,179 before any promotion, shipping, or taxes. This is the most expensive option, and given all it offers, I do think the price is justified. However, based on the price and complexity, I do not recommend this option to all but the most discerning simmers. And if you fit that description, you probably know more than me on this topic anyways. For VKB, their answer to the VIRPIL combination I just covered would be a pair of Gunfighters with Premium Kosmosima Grips plus an Omni-Throttle adapter. And again, before shipping, discount codes, or taxes, your total is $818. However, this gets complicated, especially since with VKB, at least in the US, you have to pay 25% plus for VAT on orders over $799. Basically, I think this configuration is a step down in terms of features with a proportional step down in terms of price. However, VKB adds, in my experience, exceptional customer service compared to, admittedly, hearsay, a rather poor one with VIRPIL. If you are new to the space sim category or a casual player upgrading from an entry HOTAS or HOSAS, the option I recommend going with is a pair of Gladiator bases, with one being paired with a premium straight Kosmosima stick and the other with an Omni-Throttle stick. It's easy to set up and customize without much fuss and works great with a lot of games or sims quite well. Being a more serious and less casual space simmer, I went for a Gunfighter on the aiming or left hand in my case, because I was really afraid I would be disappointed with the hard center of the Gladiator. While I do appreciate the space soft center cam I have on the Gunfighter, and it is amazing, I think it's only worth it for, again, really diehard simmers, and I probably wouldn't have been disappointed with the Gladiator. If I could compare it to a VR setup, this is like magically blending a Quest 3 with the eye tracking and QLED blacks of the Quest Pro, or in other words, would be for someone willing to pay a bit more than what a Quest 3 costs without stepping up completely to a dedicated PC VR headset like the Crystal. Like a Quest 3 combined with a Pro. Hopefully that's actually coming, right? I'm nearly finished testing the Crystal Lighthouse faceplate for another oddly specific use case of mine. So before I spend most of another weekend editing my thoughts into a video, what are yours on this type of obscure deep dive? Thanks so much for watching.